threats to build a state prison near Disney World to skirmishes with Donald Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is making headlines nationwide this morning. He is visiting Washington, D.C. today in what many believe is an attempt to build conservative support for his rumored presidential campaign.
All right, and joining us now live, Dr. Kevin Walston, a professor in the Department of Political Science at Cal State Long Beach. Professor, thanks for the time. Here we go. We're heading into a complicated election cycle with DeSantis expected to announce his presidential run soon. So what can we expect for the Republican Party?
Well, we can expect a lot of infighting within the Republican Party, of course. We're just starting to get the opening salvos in this battle. Trump-allied super PACs have released some ads about DeSantis. Obviously, Trump has started with his usual strategy of name-calling and trying to diminish DeSantis. DeSantis finally hit back in his first ad, which went right at Trump in a way that many Republican presidential contenders have been reluctant to do so far. So my guess is this is just the start of what we're going to see a lot more of, Trump fighting against DeSantis.
It's really interesting to me when you look at the numbers. There was some polling out yesterday of just how independent voters have become. And when you look at, former President Donald Trump and you look at Governor DeSantis, there are so many social issues that they seem to be taking up that I don't know that plays that well with independent voters. You also have this crowded GOP field. Can you kind of break down for us what the logic is here when it comes to some of these issues, obviously for DeSantis specifically? They're important in Florida. People talk about it in Florida. But when you look at a nationwide election and a rival like the former president, how does that play out?
Well, all Republicans are in a very difficult position because you need to win the Republican primary first before you can even compete in the general election. And the pressure within the Republican primary is to run out to the extremes. And that's particularly powerful with respect to two issues that are nationally very prominent, very salient, and work against Republicans' electoral prospects. Those are guns and gun violence and the related issue of gun control, and of course, abortion. So what you're seeing for particularly DeSantis at this moment is an attempt to appease the Republican base without making too large of a deal on it. You saw last week, Governor DeSantis signed a 6-week abortion ban into law. He signed that in the late hours, sent a tweet at 11 p.m. and avoided mentioning it basically for the last week. So abortion is, of course, a necessity to win the Republican presidential primary. It's a total liability when it comes to the general election. And that's just an issue that Republicans are going to have to find a way to deal with if they want to have any hope in November of 2024.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a tightrope.
Yeah,
they have to balance. On the other side of the aisle, then, President Biden expected to run for office again, although no official announcement has been made. So do you see any serious competition for Biden, then, from members of his own party?
I don't see serious competition. What I see is an insurance policy in the form of Gavin Newsom. Our own governor in the last month has really ramped up his efforts to try to walk this tightrope between standing up for democratic principles. I'm just looking out for the interests of the country more broadly. I'm not a threat to Biden. But also remember, if something were to go wrong with Biden, if Biden were to step down, if something else were to happen, I am here to take over that mantle. So Newsom is, of course, the insurance policy for the Democratic Party at this point. He has been positioning himself for quite some time to play this role, and we're seeing now just a more proactive step in that direction for Governor Newsom.
And I think we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. planning to announce pretty soon, too, correct?
Yeah, he will likely enter the race. I'm not convinced that he represents any kind of threat to Biden or Newsom for that matter. Certainly, he is a unconventional Democrat who has a lot of unconventional views on a lot of different issues. Certainly, he can run. Whether he gets any attraction, of course, it remains to be seen.
Thanks, Professor.
Yeah.
566 days away. So thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
It's going to heat up, though. It always does.
We'll be talking about it.